if you want to hear how Steve Kyles just had some amazing growth with eight, I'm going to say random loan officers and a growth of what percentage, what is it collectively as a group?
In their first 4 weeks, 267%. In week 8, which is this week, 500% growth.
Increase in growth in closings,
Yeah,
not credit pulls, not applications, but actual closings or closings scheduled. Is that correct?
that's right. 100%.
You're listening to the right episode. So normally Steve, of course, leads his own podcast, but he's such a humble guy. He said, Carl, I can't talk about this. We were sitting here on a Zoom call and he's telling me about this. I said, dude, we got to record a podcast on these. Go,
Yeah.
it'll seem a little braggadocious. I don't want to do it. Well, he's not doing it. I am.
Okay.
So I'm bragging on you, Steve, and
I
I'm
love it.
bragging on the group of 8 loan officers. You guys did a beta test on something
Yeah.
and just far exceeded
Yeah.
the expected results of it. Talk about it to us for us.
Hey, and let me just to be 100% accurate, it ended up being 7. So this group of 7, and what has been remarkable is this, Carl. So we saw this need. There were people saying, "Hey, listen, I'm a day one loan officer as of right now," which you and I have been talking about this. We really believe everybody started over this year. Like we've seen people that were funding 10, 12, 15 units a month go down to 1, 2, 3, 4. And so what it was is this boot camp is designed, um it's really a jump start to a million. Like it's like, hey, I've got the drive, the passion, and I'm having to rebuild, restart my business. What the heck could I do to get quick results, because I got to do it right now. And so you were talking about it. The key to the success has just been people that say, I will do what it takes, and show up for 8 weeks with accountability, with structure. And here, let me just tell you about this group. And what I love about it is each of these loan officers in this boot camp, and we have a couple of different flavors for branch managers. We've got it for higher producers. This was for people saying, Carl, I want to get to $1 million consistently every single month, and then be able to continue to accelerate my growth. So here's what happened the month before they joined the boot camp, and I had the chance to talk with each one of them. They did 3 units as a group. So 7 of them did 3 units. So a tough month.
Not 3 units each
No, 3 units total. Like
total
they
for the
they just had
seven.
a tough. They were like, man, I'm struggling. I've got the drive. I may not know exactly what to do. I don't have the accountability, but I will do whatever it
But
takes.
I'm on fire.
That's it. So within their first 4 weeks, funded 8, and then this month there will be 15. So from 3 in 8 weeks to 15 fundings for 7. And here's what's amazing is I'm watching their growth, Carl. It's like I told them in yesterday's coaching call, like they're going to break 20, 25 units as a collective. And what's happening is where they were throwing up 0, the first month ended up being 1, and then the 8 week mark, it's like there's 3 in their pipeline. And it's like, and again, this could be for newer, but really it's for people saying, I'm rebuilding. And what we've watched, you and I know, the statistic was 67% of loan officers close less than 1 transaction a month. And this is somebody who says, man, I feel broken. I am committed. I'll do whatever it takes. There's nothing that'll stop me or hold me back. And listen, all I need to do is be a part of a culture, a community with a clear plan and accountability, and I will get it done. Because Carl, you and I talked about this, and this is what really got me going, because I was hearing from Kristen and hearing from team members, and you and I were talking to loan officers, and they were saying, dude, I just need a shot in the arm. I need something that just says, hey, it's kind of like a shock. It's like you go to a boot camp, and it's in a cool way, because we don't lead with a stick. It's like, okay, let's put us with peers. Let's put us with purpose. Let's put us with a clear plan. And I'll tell you the thing that has been a big part of it too, Carl. They've all committed to going to call stars every single Monday through Thursday. And so you've got this collective group of 7 that have become so powerfully intertwined in this. They're like, dude, we're the best of friends. They're meeting on additional calls. Heck, yesterday they were sharing information, and they said, hey, after the call, they said, we'll jump on this and I'll help you with that, and I'll help you with this. And this energy and this momentum is infectious. And I'm like, brother, that's a 500% increase. And let me tell you about Juan. Juan is a remarkable guy. Hey, I got to tell you this one, Carl. Listen to this. He started, I talked to him the week before the boot camp, and I think it was Kristen who said, "Hey, I got this guy who's, man, amazing guy. He's struggling. He's had several months with zero closings. And he's not a rookie. He's a veteran in this business. He's struggling. And he's at a point where he's wondering if he's going to have to get out of the business. And I called him and I said, "Hey brother, talk to me." And he affectionately, everybody calls him Johnny. And I just said, "Hey brother, talk to me about it." And he said, "Well, here's the deal. I'm not even sure I can stay in the business." He said, I'm living on savings. My wife, I don't really think she fully understands where we're at financially, and I'm concerned I'm going to have to get a job. This is my last Hail Mary. So here's what happened is, from a Hail Mary to this month, he's funding 3 transactions in 8 weeks, from literally zero, and maybe on a good month he'd fund one, saying, "I got to get out of the business." This month he's funding 3, and he already has 4 locked in his pipeline, and we still got 2 weeks to go in the month. Like, I'm telling you, this brother's going to end up with, I think he'll hit 5 this next month. But what I'm more impressed with, I'm like, brother, 3 fundings, you're no longer wondering if you're in the business now. And I said, "What was the difference?" And he said, "It was the confidence." He said, "The challenge I was having is that now that I know what to say, now that there's clarity around who I am and what prospecting means to me, and that sales isn't a dirty word, and I've got a process to prospecting, which means I'm being accountable to this group of peers because we've all committed to doing what it takes." He said, "Man, my mind's just shift." And he's like, "These are not painful calls. These are great calls that are getting me results, and I can see a way out of the hole we dug." And man, so and they've been sending me their testimonials, and I'm like, "Bro, the world's got to hear in a cool way
Yeah.
what, because we're not doing it for them." You know what we're doing, Carl? It goes back to, we're being guides. Like, and that's what I tell them all the time. I can't do the work. You're doing the work. But what a coach does, what we do is we accelerate by seeing outside of where you're, like, when you're in it day to day, you can't see that it's the smallest tweak that makes the biggest difference. But you can have somebody who's been there, who's grown. We grew 51% last year, and in 2 years grew some, like, we're not just talking about it, we're doing it. And I can look at it and say, "Oh man, you're doing it 95% right. Tweak that." And they tweak it, and Carl, they get big success, and they're like, "It wasn't that it wasn't getting results. I just needed that one little tweak."
Mhm.
And now the confidence is off the charts, man. And you better watch out when you get a loan officer with confidence and some results. They're not in a cocky way, but they're, Carl, you know what it's like. You're spiking the ball at the 1 yard line, and he goes back to his wife and says, "Baby, we're gonna be okay."
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there saying, that's life changing. So it's so powerful that what we decided, you and I were talking about it, and it was like, man, we have got to make this available, because I wonder how many loan officers are at that place where it's like, I will do what it takes. I may even have some of the plan, but I need the accountability and the camaraderie and the culture, so that we can begin to get out of this. And not only get out of it, because Carl, what we're seeing also is this: there's loan officers that have been stuck at that $1 million a month mark. And you're saying, "How do I go from 1 million to 2.5 million?" And you and I both know this. That's team. Who's my first hire? Who do I put in that spot? How do I hold them accountable? And so, even for those of you who are listening, saying, "I've been stuck at 1 million, I want to get to 2.5," that's where we're building these boot camps, because some of you are trying to get from 0 to 1 million. Some of you are trying to go from 1 million to 2 million. And we're going to be opening this up because we're seeing the results are life changing.
Let me tell you something. I have coached literally tens of thousands of loan officers in my career.
Yeah,
And I can tell you the hardest,
that's it.
most difficult move is going from 0 loans to, say, about 4 a month.
That's 100% it.
It's like it's like the space shuttle takes off. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I think the parable that goes is it takes about 90% of the fuel for the first 50 miles of flight, and then the other 10% of fuel for the next million miles.
That's right.
Right? That escaping the Earth's gravity pull consumes the vast amount of energy, overwhelmingly the amount of energy. The same thing, going from 0 to 4 it's a bear. I mean, it's
Hmm.
really, really, really epic when you can get going from 4 to 12.
It's easier.
I found it's easy. It's like
Yeah, because that's a
really
hoot.
easy. It's
Hmm.
going from the 0 to 4 is just a bear. So first of all, congratulations, man. That's a
Yeah.
heavy pull, and it's not like, well, we did it with one or we did it with two. No, this was a group of seven
Yeah.
that you did it with, and then collectively you're already at 15
Yeah.
at the 8 week, and now you're moving forward. It's looking like next month. I think you said somewhere between 20 and 25.
I
So
believe they'll hit
it's
it. Hmm.
yeah, it's likely to continue past that point. But
Hmm.
man, that is epic. And I tell you something else you said. I want to make sure everybody caught. You said that these people, what do these people have in common? That none of them were heavy hitters at the time, right?
Hmm.
Um, but they were heavy hitter on desire.
That's it.
Like their desire out trumped past results.
Mm.
I'm not saying future results. I'm saying past results, at least the month before, not so exciting, right? Going through a hard time, struggling with it,
Right.
but their desire lit the fire,
Hmm.
and that out trumped everything else. So you got heavy desire. Um, don't get in the way of those people. They'll mow you down like a freight train, right? Because they
Hey,
got
well,
desire.
it's almost the desperation, and I say
Yeah.
that like you almost have to be at a place where Carl, I can remember being in a couple spots in my career where it was like, I will do whatever it takes, and that stance, along with aligning, because you and I believe this, relationships matter. And it's like there's an alignment with a stance is what creates an acceleration. Because look, and this is what I was telling them yesterday. I said, guys, we have won. You know why? Because you beat the hardest four parts. Let me tell you what we go through. These are the fourth steps getting from 0 to 4. You and I have talked about it, and I'm going to articulate it. It was like the other day, I said it, Carl, and I was like, that's it. 0 to 4 is only four things: it's discipline, it's consistency, it's the right plan, and the structure to keep me accountable. And I am telling you, we have unlocked something that it's like, man, would you put the right people that have the desire? We can help you with those four, because once you break four, like, look, I'm looking at Juan, my man, he already has four for next month. I told him, I said, brother, don't slip up and put like three more in. You got half a month left. And he's like, oh, yeah, you watch me. And it just goes back to his confidence is back. But then, the next step getting from 4 to 5 to 6 is, let's just make sure your back end's tight. Let's make sure you got a great help and support. So it's the accelerating. And that's what I'm excited about. So, man, thank you for highlighting this, because I got to tell you, I was thinking about it, man. This is something that's changing and transforming lives and families as well as the people they serve.
Real quick as we wrap this thing up on this boot camp, how often do you guys meet?
Yeah, so it's every week. So it's an intensive. So it's literally every single week. It's a virtual boot camp, and it's literally I am leading the conversation. And then we've done some really cool things. We've got a group chat, and we've got some other things that keep the community and the camaraderie. Plus, there's a ton of tools and resources. You get my what is it, 96-page script book. You get, I mean, there's things we're going to do to empower and equip you to make sure that you're able to run. Hey, and Carl, let's do this. One of the things that I was thinking about, I know there's people listening and they're saying, dude, if I had something like that, I could do that too. Go to loanofficersuccess.com. And what I did was I just put a quick like a quick fill out a
It's not.
couple of
It's not
pieces.
pretty. It's not
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, it's not. Look, we're doing this because we're seeing the results. Carl, you're the one that told me, bro, you got to do it again. Like, you're changing lives. And so just fill it out. It's like two or three pieces of information. Hit submit. When you do, we'll get that, and then we'll reach out to you, because we would love, like, we're going to have this boot camp. We're launching another one, and we want you to be a part of it. So go to loanofficersuccess.com, fill out a couple of pieces of information, and then myself will reach out to you. We'll get things set up and jump on another call and talk through it,
And,
because
and,
we're
and
taking
again,
candidates. Yeah.
and this is going to be a small. This is
Oh, yeah.
literally 12
It's a
loan
small group.
officers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not 50,
No
not
way.
not
No,
not 13, not 14.
no,
A
it's
group of
12.
12. Because you found the
12.
magic is in this one small group
That's
where
right.
everybody knows each other's first name,
Yep.
and you're going through this collectively as a group.
100%.
And
Yep. And it's exciting, man. So loanofficersuccess.com, fill it out. We'd love There's 12 spots for the one that's coming up. And so just what I would just say is fill it out, and then we'll reach out, we'll get you plugged in and see if it's a right fit for you.
So you're going to give me discipline. You're going to show me how to be consistent. You're going to give
Yep.
me a plan.
That's right.
And you're going to give me the structure to be accountable. What
That's
you're
it.
not going to give me is the desire. That's what I've got to bring to the table.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%. You come
Love it,
with
man.
desire, and I promise you won't be able to fail. So
Yeah. Good stuff.
loanofficersuccess.com. Remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See you.